C'est quoi ce propre? Mais non, mais pourquoi personne réagit? Mais on est où là? Mais attendez, mais je rêve? Putain, je suis choquée.
Y la muerte rápida no cuenta, bebé. Tiene que haber dolor y tiene que haber sufrimiento. Se llama venganza.
Ooh, I love this! I love this!
우리들의 이야기를 함께 나누는 스토리 코리아입니다. 2년이 흐른 지금에도 추천 K드라마에 꼽히고 여전히 회자되고 있는 더글로리. 외국인들은 어떻게 이야기할까요? 좋아요. 한번 부탁드리고요. 함께 보시죠.
I think my mom just put me on the K-drama and I'm so freaking pissed. You told me to watch this. And let me just say, there's nothing to say bad about this show. Everything about this was so good. It was done so well. The revenge, great. The love story, the love subplot, amazing. The dialogue, some of the lines, I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. The visual, cinematography, everything was just, like, I literally have nothing bad to say about this show. First day watching this, I freaking started late and I stood up till 1 o'clock and I only stopped because I had something to do the next day and I couldn't miss it. But this drawing was so freaking good. Every part of the revenge was, oh my God. When she got the mom back, when she got her get back for her mom betraying her and got it on, oh my goodness.
لما نيجي نبدأ كلام عن زغلوري لازم نبدأ بأكتر شخصية مكروهة بالنسبة لي. الشخصية دي أنا كرهتها جدا. الشخصية دي يا جدعان عملت لي تروما بجد من كتر ما هي شخصية تلمة وشخصية بشعة جدا. الممثلة شريرة جدا ولابسة قناع الشر لدرجة ان هي ورايحة تعمل تجارب الأداء. المخرج من ابتسامتها بس اقتنع ان هي لابسة الدور. هي لازم تلبس الدور وش. بجد ايه كمية الشر ده؟ ايه كمية الغل والكره والحقد والتنمر اللي جواكي ده؟ قولوا لي في الكومنتات، هل دي اكتر شخصية بتكرهوها زي كده ولا انا بس، ولا انا عندي ضغينة بيني وبينها كده؟
The Glory Part 2 60-second review. Things I liked about Part 2. I loved episodes 14 and 15. I thought they were so great. The pace was amazing. I absolutely love how they use the doctor as like this big plot twist at the end. That genuinely gave me full body like shivers. I love how it like each person was revenged upon very satisfyingly. And I absolutely love the assistant storyline. She was so amazing. I cried on all of her scenes. I really think she stole the show. So those are the things that I mainly, and the music, I love the music. Things that I was, number one, I would have loved to see more of the husband. I barely saw the husband in the part 2. I wanted to see more of him. I wanted him to really ruin her life, like his wife. I didn't see much of that. And I didn't like how we got an open ending for Dr. Ju. I would have preferred his revenge to be in the actual drama.
Tu puta madre, no tienes idea del gusto que me va a dar cuando te cargue la verga, perra maldita. Ojalá que te revienten y te hagan pinche salchicha a la verga en una máquina de moler carne. Uy, perra maldita. ¡Ay, perra! Pendeja, naca, asquerosa, mierdera. No, hombre, puta. Lo que me voy a reír cuando te revienten, culera. ¡Llama! ¡Sí, sí y sí! Y quédense fríos, hijos de su puta madre. Te tembló, hermosa. Te tembló el pinche cule. Y te va a temblar peor, perra. Uno por uno a los hijos de perra. Uno por uno. Y la muerte rápida no cuenta, bebé. Tiene que haber dolor y tiene que haber sufrimiento. Se llama venganza.
오늘부터 모든 날이 흉흉할 거야. 자극적이고 끔찍할 거야. 막을 수도 없앨 수도 없을 거야.
Ooh, I love this! I love this!
너는 지나.
Oh my god. She's gonna sit, you're gonna see her sitting back there clapping, dude. No? Ah, dude, I would've, oh, that would've been so. Yes! Yes! Yes, dude! Oh my, I love this shit! Yes, 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 yes! Oh my god. The pettiness of her sitting back there clapping and shouting out. Oh my god. I love this show now. I mean, listen, from episode 1, I was like, oh, I really like this. I really, really like this. Now, love it. I'm all about it now. Oh, that is so good.
Ini dia 5 fakta yang banyak orang gak tahu tentang series The Glory. Nomor 4 bikin shock, woy. Lah kok bisa? Fakta yang pertama, karena cerita film ini diambil dari kisah nyata, jadi kejadian aslinya itu lebih serem daripada di filmnya, woy. Jadi siswi yang korban itu ternyata bukan cuma dibully, tapi juga emang beneran disiksa tangannya itu pakai catokan rambut di sekolah. Bahkan katanya nih, bekas luka yang belum sembuh aja udah dikeletin sama yang ngebully, royokan lagi. Fakta kedua, jadi bayaran Song Hye Kyo per episodenya itu 2,4 miliar, woy. Gokil banget. Per episode loh, lu kaliin aja deh tuh kalau 12 episode. Pantesan aktingnya kudu total banget ya. Belum lagi tuh dia harus ngurusin badannya sampai bener-bener ceking banget biar perannya tuh bisa dapet banget karena dia tuh korban bullying. Fakta ketiga, nah jadi kalau di film si korbannya itu balas dendam pas udah gede sama si pembuli. Tapi ternyata nih di dunia nyatanya si korban gak balas dendam sama sekali, woy, karena katanya dia tuh dapat keadilan dan salah satu pelakunya itu ditangkap. Fakta yang keempat nih yang bikin shock, ternyata adegan Song Hye Kyo yang ditampar berkali-kali sama Pak Ki Jin itu beneran gak pakai pemeran pengganti. Jadi pipinya tuh emang bener-bener ditampar sampai merah, bahkan sampai bengkak dan nyaris pingsan, woy. Wah, totalitas banget ya. Oke, fakta yang terakhir nih, yang kelima. Jadi series The Glory ini ranking kelima di chart globalnya Netflix, dan gokilnya jadi series terpopuler di 10 negara, woy. Mulai dari Arab Saudi, Qatar, sampai Indonesia.
Mais ça va pas? Mais pourquoi c'est normal? Mais c'est ça, quoi. Quoi? Vous vantez que votre fils était à la fac. Vous aimeriez qu'il se fasse chahuter, mais c'est... Mais c'est quoi ce propre? Oh, mais non, mais pourquoi personne réagit? Mais on est où, là? Mais attendez, mais je rêve? Putain, je suis choquée de la violence. Mais quelle espèce de... Je suis sa mère, mais tu sers à quoi? Ah, elle a une mère au moins. Alors, à mourir de rire, la mère va signer un papier qui dit comme quoi, en fait, donc Guillaume, je sais même plus parler là, je suis désolée, soit elle a pris un pot de vin, ça s'appelle comme ça. Tu n'es pas au courant, sa chambre elle est vidée? Ah Louis, j'ai vu, ta mère a quitté la chambre ce matin. Ah bah du coup voilà, elle a commencé à travailler en fait. Elle se tue à la tâche. Ouf. Mes cicatrices me grattaient et j'avais mal à cause de mes règles. À ce moment-là, je me suis dit, la pharmacie ouvre à 9h et le fleuve est à 20 minutes à pied. Oh non, l'eau sera froide. Tout sera fini. Ça ne me grattera plus. Ça sera déjà ça. Mais non, c'est pas le bon choix. Me fait trop de la peine. C'est quoi ça? C'est quoi cette cruauté? Poufi va. Donc voilà, eux, entre-temps, ils ont trouvé une nouvelle victime. Mais dégoûte. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a, espèce de sorcière? Que fait-elle ici? Elle est venue? Tu es partie sans rien dire. Le rêve que tu as écrit sur ton profil en ligne. Une mère et une gentille épouse. Tu y crois? Tu as vraiment écrit ça? Sarah veut peindre. Jung héritera d'un golf. Hai Jung, hôtesse de l'air. Tu rêves d'être une mère et bonne épouse? C'est quoi ce bordel? Pourquoi tu m'as oublié? Mon rêve c'est de devenir millionnaire. Ah donc oui, il est pas riche non plus, ok. Je n'ai pas de rêve donc Guillaume. C'est bon pour ceux comme toi. Toi, lui et elle. Ah donc eux sont pas riches, ok. Vous réaliserez vos rêves grâce à moi. Je n'ai pas besoin de rêve. C'est une blague. Tout le monde a besoin de rêver. Je me marie quand je serai encore jolie. Je vivrai heureuse pour toujours. Inch'Allah, tu vivras pas heureuse toute ta vie, espèce de sorcière. J'espère qu'on se reverra. Ouf, depuis ce jour, elle prépare sa vengeance en fait. Donc, été 2006, elle continue à travailler à l'usine cette fois-ci. Et en même temps, en fait, elle étudie. Elle a été admise à la fac, trop bien. Et en fait, elle est en train d'étudier. Et ça, sa collègue de travail, en fait, qui est très gentille avec elle. Excuse-moi. Donc, après quelques années, elle a grandi. Donc, voilà, c'est donc Youm qu'on voit maintenant. Et donc, enfin, en fait, la collègue de l'usine ose lui parler pour sympathiser ensemble. Elle est trop mignonne, la fille, je trouve. Et elle quitte l'usine fin du mois, en fait, pour aller à la fac. Donc là, voilà, arrivée justement à la fac. Tu n'as peur de personne. Quel endroit te ferait peur? Même un instant. C'est le seul lieu que j'ai trouvé. Elle cherche son point faible, c'est normal. Ma propre salle de 160 mètres carrés. Aïe Sol, je sais pas si je prononce bien encore une fois. Un vrai conte de fées, mais elle est trop mimi. Attendez, c'est Yonjin, voilà, pardon. Yonjin. Celui qui baisse son voisin doit être baissé de la même manière. Œil pour œil. Dent pour dent, vas-y. Fracture pour fracture. Qui inflige une blessure doit la subir aussi. Je ne sais pas. Ça me semble trop juste. Je me trompe. Putain, incroyable. Incroyable. Bah écoutez, c'est la fin de l'épisode numéro 1. Je suis trop choquée. Je reviens pas. En plus, à ce qu'il paraît, c'est tiré d'une histoire vraie. Vous imaginez? C'est tiré d'une histoire vraie. Le fer à boucler, là. Je suis sans voix.
Okay, review of this TV series I've just binge watched on Netflix called The Glory. Let me give you my thoughts, my review on what I thought about this entire series so far. Now, I do love a Korean drama now and again, so I thought, you know what, let's give this a blast because it's been rated quite well on IMDb. It's been rated an 8.1, so that's quite high actually for those sorts of things on there. So I thought, let's give this a blast. So Song Hye-kyo, who is this lady here, playing the main character in this series of Moon Dong-un. Her character has a backstory of obviously getting abuse at school. So there's a bunch of school kids that she gets a load of abuse from, and I talk some like serious abuse. Like episode 1 is visual in terms of the abuse she gets, and really sets this revenge story, because that's what this is all about, really. This big revenge story off. So if you love a revenge story, you're gonna want to watch this. For part 2, and I was like, yeah, that's brilliant. Now I'm hooked. I need to know how this story ends. I need to see this. I'm invested. I mean, genuinely, you are rooting for this girl the whole time. Like, you are behind. We are all here for you. Let's get them. Like, this is brilliant. Honestly, a great revenge story. But anyway, so yeah, the plot, the acting. It genuinely felt like I was watching a film, like with the amount of effort they put into this. And yes, there was tears. Yes, there was moments of like, you know, must watch. You need to binge this weekend, right now. In fact, get off this. Go now. Get Netflix on. I can't see Netflix on right now. Get Netflix on, watch this right now. Seriously, a must watch.
5 bonnes raisons de regarder la série sud-coréenne The Glory. Sans spoiler. Première raison, c'est véritablement une série basée sur le conte de Montekristau, mais en Corée du Sud. C'est très intéressant parce que du coup l'héroïne principale c'est vraiment Edmond Dantès en version sud-coréenne. Bref, une histoire de vengeance qui fait plaisir parce que ça fait toujours du bien de voir des gens mériter la souffrance qu'on veut leur infliger. Deuxième raison, Il y a beaucoup de poésie dans cette série, que ce soit à travers la musique utilisée, la mise en scène, les personnages, leurs dialogues. Bref, c'est une série qui dégage énormément d'émotions et qui, par certains points, du coup, s'avère très touchante. Troisième raison. En opposition à cette poésie, on retrouvera dans cette série The Glory énormément de violence. C'est une série qui n'a pas peur de montrer ce que la nature humaine a de plus dur, de plus abrupt. Il y a du sang, il y a de la chair, il y a de la violence intellectuelle comme physique. Bref, on est vraiment dans une histoire de vengeance et c'est bien réalisé. Quatrième raison, il n'y a absolument aucun personnage à jeter à la poubelle. Et pourtant, des personnages dans cette série, il y en a beaucoup. Et pourtant, chacun est interprété avec excellence par chacun des acteurs le jouant. Il y a notamment quelques masterclass qu'il faudra souligner. Bref, le casting est vraiment à la hauteur de cette série qui s'avère excellente. Cinquième et dernière raison, il y a une véritable évolution entre l'épisode 1 et l'épisode 16. En positif, dans le sens où c'est une véritable histoire qui vous a été racontée. Vous avez pu voir une évolution des traits de caractère des personnages, vous avez pu voir une évolution des faits, bref, l'arc narratif de la série est très réussi, dans le sens où de l'épisode 1 à l'épisode 16, c'est une très belle histoire, très bien argumentée, et surtout, sincèrement racontée. Et ça fait plaisir une série comme ça. Voilà, c'est tout pour moi, j'espère que cette critique vous donnera envie de regarder cette série. Je l'ai découverte un petit peu par hasard, je ne le regrette pas, c'est vraiment une...
There are more than a handful of stories that revolve around revenge, some iconic and others absolutely forgettable. Well, Netflix is bringing The Glory, a revenge drama series from South Korea. So where does this fall on the spectrum? Is it good or terrible? Let's dive in. A woman lives for absolute revenge against the childhood bullies who destroyed her life. So there was a series about a decade ago that starred Emily Van Camp called Revenge, about this young woman who had made it her life's goal to exact revenge on the people that destroyed her family and life. But if you go way farther back in time, we have an incredibly powerful revenge story by Alexandre Dumas called The Count of Monte Cristo. Now that's an epic tale where a wrongfully imprisoned man seeks out elaborate revenge schemes on those that betrayed him. In The Glory, this certainly has a lot in common with The Count of Monte Cristo, where our main character, Dong-yoon, was brutally bullied for quite a while at school, and then she spends the next 18 years hatching a plan to crush those responsible. This first part is 8 episodes, and each is about 50 minutes long. The show effectively sets up the bullying and the abuse that Dong-yoon suffers, and it is just brutal to watch. I mean, in fact, it can actually be too much, as it is excruciating to view repeatedly. And the series goes back to the abuse time and time again. Maybe in an effort to make sure we don't forget. I don't know, but it certainly sets the stage to put us on Dong-yoon's side and make her a sympathetic protagonist. Now, something that took a bit for me to wrap my head around in this show, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it's just dramatized for the story, but when Dong-yoon is bullied, the reaction of parents, teachers, administrators, gosh, even police are horrific towards her, furthering the abuse and the neglect. Now, whether or not this is an accurate representation of this society, what this did do is make the surrounding world the villain to Dong-yoon, and in turn, it justifies her ensuing actions. The antagonistic characters in this are almost caricatures, leaning into the vileness and privileged snobbery that makes them feel untouchable. They're certainly ones that are easy to hate, and I really appreciate the hierarchy and complexity that exists among the group of bullies. There's a definite social structure and even class system that's upheld within the bullies, and the way the strife builds, I think it's excellent to watch. And it's often humorously biting and absurd. The infighting, it works to reinforce how terrible each person is, but also to establish the dominancy of the group and illustrate who the ringleader is and where the rest of them fall within that power structure. And there's a woman that Dong-yoon sort of befriends, and I use that term lightly because it's more of a one-sided friendship, but the woman, Hyun-nam, is older and lonely, but also she's incredibly funny to watch. She's earnest and extremely charismatic, creating a very bright spot in this dark drama. Now, I also love the enthusiasm with which she goes about helping Dong-yoon. She gets giddy at the tasks, and when she gains confidence, the situations become even more entertaining and endearing. The story is filled with great tension, especially when we watch Dong-yoon interacting with people who are connected to her bullies. We can see how she's moving all the chess pieces into place before exacting her plans. But because some of the revenge schemes become very obvious, there are tedious moments as we watch all of the actions required to set it all up play out. Now, there are also a lot of sequences that drag out situations and actions, making the series feel longer than it really needs to be. I mean, I was still very sucked into what was going on, but there are certainly opportunities to make this a more efficient watch, trimming scenes and cutting down the repetition. As this first part reaches the end, there's a lot of mounting urgency and anxiety. Pieces are falling into place, but there are some moments where I can't tell if they're playing out how Dong-yoon expected or if her scheme is starting to go slightly awry. I mean, either way though, the tension that builds is engaging and it kept me hooked. I also like that at about episode 6, we start to get new insight into a character that has been a key factor for Dong-yoon. There's a scene at the end of that episode that is touching, but it also made me smile because what the character says is unexpected. But it's also something I wanted to happen, so it was rewarding. And then in the final 2 episodes, we learn a ton more, and that then sets a new trajectory for the story that looks like it promises to become intense and probably very violent. This is a crazy series, as there are several characters that I love, and then even more that I love to hate. The main antagonist, Yeon-jin, is excellent at just becoming somebody who makes my skin crawl every time she's on screen. And not only is she just vile through her actions, but her spirit and core character are pretty much pure evil. While a villain so outrightly obvious in their badness could be considered lazy, for this, I love that she's clearly terrible despite the persona that she tries to get off. I mean, I'm definitely rooting for her downfall, but I also have this huge suspicion that this is going to end poorly for most of our characters, Dong-yoon included. So, despite some of the tedious and repetitious nature of the storytelling, I was still very much engaged in the revenge plot, and I certainly found myself on board with Dong-yoon's plans. The story is captivating in the way that it's told, and giving us more and more detail on the connections and the schemes that are being set up. The pace is patient, and sometimes the repetition makes the story drag a bit, but the overall story is darkly crafted with some very intriguing characters. If you're watching this with the volume turned up, beware that there is a lot of screaming from several of the characters. Not in terror or pain, I mean, even though that does occur, but many of the antagonists feel the need to shout and scream at each other at any given moment. I mean, it's like if Janice from Friends was turned into a 3-year-old and then given caffeine and then slapped. I mean, that reaction, that's what we get here. It's sometimes annoying, but perfectly in line with the characters' behaviors and personalities.
오늘 영상 재미있게 보셨나요? 시간이 지나도 계속 회자되는 건 그만큼 깊이와 울림이 있기 때문이라고 생각합니다. 더글로리 다음 시즌을 기다리는 목소리도 많이 들리는데요. 조심스레 기대해봅니다. 오늘도 함께 해주셔서 감사드리고요. 좋아요와 구독 눌러주시면 큰 힘이 됩니다. 우리들의 이야기를 함께 나누는 스토리 코리아였습니다. 다음 영상에서 다시 뵐게요.